So allow me to begin the session at this particular moment, and beginning with what I had posted the other week, herbs, spices, and condiments. There are some questions I sent to you, some quiz, and they were simply to assist you in revising or in reading more on that handout about the herbs, spices, and condiments. So I'll very first go through that particular topic before I take you now to the butchery products. And on the herbs, spices, and condiments, I want to begin with the condiments. As you saw in that handout that I sent, we said that a condiment is something that is either added to food during cooking or at the table. So something like salt is a condiment. You either add it, and the reason for condiments is seasoning. So you add when you are cooking or at the table. Then there are various examples of condiments that were written there. One of them was salt, as I have said. Another one was vinegar. Another one was mustard. Each one of us knows mustard, the yellow bottle which you use in the kitchen, and we mostly use it when making mayonnaise or vinaigrette. So mustard was another one. So let me very fast go through them. I'll begin with salt as the first condiment, and I'll take you through the types of salt. If you've looked at your handout very well, you realize that there are types of salt. Margaret, mute your mic so that you minimize the echo. Yes, thank you. So now, types of salt. I'll begin with the rock salt. Why do we call it rock salt? It's known as rock salt because it has big particles. Just from the word rock, it is hard and it has big particles. That's why we call it rock salt. Then we have the table salt, the one we call it our normal salt. That is the table salt, the salt that we use in the kitchen, and it comes in very small crystals. The normal salt that we use, it has two small particles. And we can continue utilizing the chart anytime that you cannot hear me, or you think that I am breaking, or you need a clarification on something. Please type in on that particular chart. So I have said rock salt. It is large and coarse meaning very rough. Then table salt. I've said it is the normal salt we use in the kitchen. It comes in small crystals and it has been purified. The other salt I talk about is sea salt. And this one is in form of small flakes. And an example is Maldon salt. What are flakes? If you know cornflakes, you know the kind of particles that we call flakes. The start salt, sea salt looks like that. Then we also have iodized salt. Iodized salt is simply table salt. When you are buying salt from the supermarket, when imeandikwa iodized, that is what we call iodized salt. And it simply means that it has what? Sodium. What? Okay. That means it has sodium or potassium added to it to make it iodized. Then we have celery salt. And celery salt is also table salt, but it has been mixed with the celery seeds. You know the celery that we use in the kitchen. Celery, the one that we use to make stock, that one. So when we have the seeds of celery crushed and added to table salt, now that salt becomes celery salt. Jason, nisaidie kiti yako. Kiti ya plastic. Then now we have garlic salt. Again, it is mixed with crushed garlic. So when you say it is mixed with crushed garlic, just a moment. Garlic salt. Garlic salt is also another table salt, but this time it is mixed with garlic. In other words, inaonja garlic. It is seasoned with garlic. So just like celery salt, the name garlic salt is coming from garlic mixed with salt. Then the next item is salt substance. Salt substance, such as low sodium, high potassium salts, are widely available and used as a substance of salt. Now, I also want to talk about how we store salt. How do we store salt? We know that salt is a dry item, a dry product, and anytime that salt is mixed with water, then it forms very hard crystals which can no longer be used. So when I'm talking about storing salt, one, it must be stored in a dry place. So make sure moisture does not get into your salt. And the other one, you should keep it in airtight containers or packets. Make sure no moisture is getting in and also no air is getting in. Then uses of salt. How do we use salt? Use number one, which might give you a problem in how it is written there. It is used for curing fish. I hope you are still hearing me. If you cannot hear me still, write down there. Margaret, unanisikia? Margaret, unmute your mic. Sawa. Sawa. So, how do we use salt? Number one, it is used for curing fish. What is to cure? To cure. Curing simply means preserving. So when we say it is used for curing fish, we mean for preserving fish. And when we preserve something, we give it a longer shelf life. We want it to stay for a longer time. Use number two, it is used for making cheese and butter. The next topic we'll talk about after butchery products is dairy products. Cheese is a dairy product, and in that we are going to be looking at the process of making cheese. In that process of making cheese, you will find that there is a step of adding salt. So in other words, salt is an ingredient in cheese making. So when you say number two, used in making cheese or butter, we will see that when we go to dairy products. Another use, number three, it is used for pickling of foods in the cooking of many dishes. What is pickling? Pickling simply means seasoning. Seasoning. And that is why when we are defining marinade, we say that a marinade is a pickling solution. Why? Because it is used to do what? To season and tenderize proteins, meats. So when we say it is used for pickling foods, we simply mean salt is used for seasoning foods. The other use, it is used as a condiment on the table. So we have said condiments can be added either during cooking or at the table. So we add salt to food when cooking, again at the table, another salt shakers. It is because salt is a condiment, so iko hapo kwa meza. That is so much about salt. Let me now talk about vinegar. And vinegar is usually formed by an oxidation process whereby the alcoholic form of acetic acid is created and it has a characteristic aromatic taste. So it has some taste and a strong aroma, a strong smell. That smell is what I'm calling aroma. Let me go to the types of vinegar. The first one is malt vinegar. Malt vinegar is a traditional English vinegar made from beer. That is why we are calling it malt. So it is made from beer. Then you have white wine vinegar. And white wine vinegar is a byproduct of the wine industry. When you look at your handouts, it's written wine, vine, agar. Now that one is known as white wine vinegar, and it is a byproduct of the wine industry, and it is useful in dressing salads. You've seen us making vinaigrette and making mayonnaise in the kitchen, and when we are making those two things, either mayonnaise or vinaigrette, we use vinegar. So this white wine vinegar is also used as a dressing in salads on its own now, not as an ingredient, also on its own. Then you have apple cider vinegar, and apple cider vinegar is made from cider and from apples. So apple cider vinegar. Then you have distilled vinegar, and distilled vinegar has got more acetic acid than other vinegars, and it is colorless. This is mostly the most common vinegar that we use in the kitchen, and because today I'm teaching you from my kitchen. Vinegar hii ya kawaida, the one mostly used in the kitchen. Don't worry, I'm teaching you from my kitchen. I've hidden from some people. So that is what we are calling the distilled vinegar. It is clear, watery. Hii vinegar ya kawaida yenye tunatumia jikoni. So those are the types of vinegar. How do we store vinegar? One, we store in a dry place so that it does not absorb more moisture from outside. Then the other one, we keep it in sealed containers. Make sure you've covered. You do not want to have foreign pests, insects, or any other thing, or any other dry pellet dropping into your vinegar. Those are two condiments. The third condiment is mustard. And I've said that mustard is that yellow liquid that we use in the kitchen when making mayonnaise or making vinaigrette. You know it is in a yellow bottle. So mustard, and we usually have English mustard or French mustard or American mustard, Germany mustard, Dijon mustard. They have different names depending on their origin. So as they have those different names, the flavors are also different. Because if, for example, it is English mustard, we say this one is made from brown and white mustard seeds. And it is mixed with other ingredients like turmeric. The yellow color comes from turmeric. Unajua turmeric vile inakuanga yellow. So that yellow color comes from turmeric. Then we also have French mustard, and this one is dark in color. So it is darker than the English mustard. Then how do we store mustard? One, dry mustard must be stored in containers which have tight fitting lids. When we say dry mustard, we mean what? Apart from the liquid mustard that you know that we use in the kitchen, the liquid one, there is also powdered mustard. So if it is that dry, then make sure no moisture gets into it. Then another point on the storage, if you are purchasing ready-made, if it is the one in that containers, then make sure you keep the lid on. You do not open and leave it open, as that is going to affect its taste, its flavor, and the aroma will go away, will evaporate away. Now, how do we use mustard? One, it adds flavors. Inaongeza flavor in salads because we mostly use it in salads. So it adds flavor in salads. Number two, it makes appetizing marinades. When we are marinating meat, we are marinating chicken, we are marinating pork. The same way we add pepper, salt, garlic, ginger, lemons, we can also add what? Mustard. So it will make an appetizing marinade, especially when you are making barbecued meat. If you have barbecued pork, barbecued beef ribs, and such kind of meats, anything barbecued, mustard is good for marinating. Then the other use, which is the normal use now that we use it in the kitchen, it is added as a salad dressing. It is added not as a salad, to a salad dressing. So when we are making mayonnaise, when we are making vinaigrette, we add mustard as an ingredient. On to the last condiment that I'm going to talk about. The last condiment that I'm going to talk about is pepper. Pepper, pili-pili. Black pepper, white pepper, cayenne pepper. These are peppers that we mostly use in the kitchen. And because today I think me confirm. Yes. Black pepper is one. Okay. Are you able to see? Black pepper. So this is the pepper we are talking about. White pepper, don't even have white pepper. Yes, you are very lucky. White pepper. So when I'm talking about pepper, I'm talking about this pepper, the one that we use in the kitchen. See pili-pili, see green chilies. I'm talking about the pepper that we use in the kitchen. So we have black pepper and white pepper. We also have cayenne pepper. We also have paprika. So all these are known as peppers, and because they have that characteristic hot, they are hot. Hot here means haimaanishi moto, inamaanisha ukali. They are hot. So black pepper can either be ground or whole. Now, when it is whole, it is what we call, when it is whole, is what we call peppercorns. Valerie, mute your
Yes,
mic.
I'm not getting you.
You're not hearing me. I confirm whether you can now hear me. Unmute the mic and confirm whether you can now hear me, Valerie. Or any other person. Can you now hear me?
I'm not getting.
You're not hearing or not understanding?
Not hearing you.
Okay. Any other person who cannot hear me? Any other person who cannot hear me? Faith, can you hear me? Faith, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sawa. Valerie, can you now hear me?
No, I'm not getting. I'm not hearing you.
You're still not hearing me up to now. And how are we communicating? How are we communicating?
Your voice is too low.
My voice is too low. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now about pepper, this is what I'm saying. We have black pepper, which is ground. And then we also have the whole black pepper, which is the peppercorns. If you've seen the peppercorns that we use to make stock, that is still black pepper, but it is whole, so it is not ground. Then we have white pepper. White pepper is simply that black pepper, but has been removed the outer covering. So it is ground after removing the outer covering. Then we have cayenne pepper, and cayenne pepper is red pepper. It is red pepper. Then we have paprika. It is red but hot as cayenne pepper from the seeds of sweet peppers. Sweet peppers is what we call hoho, ama capsicum. So paprika is simply capsicum, ground capsicum. We have green peppercorns. The flavor of peppercorns are pungent but not hot. So green peppercorns are simply peppercorns which are not as hot as the white and the black pepper. Now, how do we store pepper? We store pepper in containers. That's why when you go to the supermarket, you'll find white pepper, black pepper in such kind of containers. They are tight-fitting containers, or if it is in a pepper, the pepper is completely sealed, because anytime these particular condiments are open foreign materials can get in. Now, when we come to the pepper, if it is open, then it means the aroma will disappear. So it will not be able to season your food the way it is supposed to. Or if, for example, you are supposed to use, let's say, 100 grams. When you use it in that particular recipe of yours, it will not give you the taste or the seasoning that you wanted. So you'll end up adding more so that you can get the flavor that you wanted, or the seasoning, or the taste that you wanted to get. Then the other point I want to talk about is pepper preparation in food, or pepper use in preparation of food. How do we use pepper? So pepper is useful in flavoring, and if it is red pepper, it is also useful in coloring. So when you use red pepper, it colors your food red. But generally, when we are using white pepper, black pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, we use them for flavor. Now, this brings me now to the end of condiments. So, I want now to talk about it was what? Herbs, spices, and condiments. Now, let me talk about herbs. And herbs, just from their name, a herb means what? It's part of a plant. So they are parts of plants. They can either be the leaves of plants, the bark of the plant, the root of the plant. That is what we call herbs. And again, we use them to flavor our food or to bring an aroma to our food. Herbs have got their characteristic aromas, scents. They got a strong smell. So they are also used to bring flavor and aroma to food, and also to season. So most of the times when we have used things like bay leaves, things like tarragon, things like chives in the kitchen, we use them so that we can bring that particular, things like rosemary, that particular flavor or smell to the food. So I want to begin by giving you just some examples of herbs. Let me get them. Yes, herbs. So some examples of herbs that we have, as I have mentioned, I've already mentioned bay leaves, I've mentioned tarragon. So we can add rosemary as an example of a herb. Basil leaves, they're also examples of herbs. Celery are herbs. So the celery that we use to make our stock, celery is a herb. Then we also have mint. Mint is another herb. We have sage, S-A-G-E. Sage is a herb. Then we have thyme, the thyme that we use in the kitchen. That's another example of a herb. So those are examples of the commonly used herbs. Next, I want to take you to the uses of herbs. And parsley. Parsley is another common herb that we have every day in the kitchen. Uses. Use number one, they are used to garnish. What is to garnish? To garnish is to decorate food. So herbs are used to garnish food or to garnish different dishes. For example, we have, when we are serving rice, we have rice, and because we want to make it look attractive, we do what? We garnish it with some parsley leaves. That is garnishing. Then we have another use, number two. It is used to enhance and improve the flavor and aroma of food. It makes food taste nicely and have a nice smell, nice aroma. And the other use, number three, it is used to disguise. To disguise ni kuhide, kuficha. So to disguise the unpleasant taste of some foods. So some foods which have an unpleasant taste or very strong taste, then we use herbs to mask those strong tastes. For example, seafoods. Now, where do we use herbs in the kitchen? We use them in making soups, for example, celery. We use them in making salads. We use them in garnishing. We use them in making sauces, in adding flavor, in making fish dishes, etc. So herbs have got many uses in the kitchen. Now, how do we store herbs? How do we store herbs? So in the storage of herbs, when they are fresh, for example, uko na fresh parsley umetoa sokoni. So when fresh, they are kept in the cold room to make sure they do not wilt ama wither. Withering ni kupooza. They start losing their green color, they start turning yellowish. So you store them in the cold room ama in the cold room, in the fridge, to make sure they are not losing their freshness. Number 2, if they are dry. Dry means what? Dry means ziko kwa mikebe kama hizi pepper. So if they are dry, they should be kept in containers with tight fitting lids. So we do not want, again, moisture to get into them. Now, when buying herbs, when buying dry herbs, to be specific, when buying dry herbs, make sure that your herbs, you don't buy them in bulk. Buy them in small batches, because the more they stay, the more they lose their aroma and flavor. So zikikaa sana, the characteristic aroma and flavor inapungua. So buy in small batches so that you're able to use them for as much as they are going to assist you. That is all about herbs. The last item on that topic is spices. And what is a spice? Now, spices are aromatic. They have a very strong smell. Yes? So, okay, go and do the next one. Yeah. Thank you. So, the spices have got aroma, strong aroma, ziko na harufu. So they are aromatic vegetable products, ama aromatic plant products. So they are products of plants, and their characteristic is that they are very aromatic. They have a strong aroma, ama smell, ama scent. And they can be found either fresh, ama powder. Now, when I say fresh, yes, they can be fresh, meaning green. For example, ginger, root ginger, because ginger is a spice. You can get it in the market. You can also find them dry and ground. You can buy ginger in a mkebe or supermarket. This is dry. The one that we buy in the market, the root ginger, that one is fresh. Now, I'm going to classify spices into 3. We have hot spices. Hot means what? Ziko na aroma, ziko na smell iko kali, na pia ni kali kama pilipili. Then 2, we have mild. Mild means what? They are not too aromatic and not less aromatic. And the other one is aromatic spices. Aromatic means chenye ziko nayo ni smell peke yake, a very strong smell, but they are not hot. So, examples of hot spices. We have ginger, and we have mixed spices. Everybody knows that ginger is hot. Ginger ni kali kama pilipili. If you can chew ginger, you will feel that ni kali kama pilipili. So it is a hot spice. Then we have mild spices kama cumin. Iko na kaukali but kwa mbali. That is cumin. And then you have aromatic spices. Those spices ziko na very strong smell, lakini si kali, kama cinnamon. Everybody knows cinnamon. So cinnamon is an example of an aromatic spice. Now, let me give you examples of some spices. So we have nutmeg, we have cloves, we have cinnamon, we have curry powder, mixed spices, ginger, turmeric, garlic. All those are examples of spices. On to my last item on spices, storage of spices. And the storage of spices is similar to the storage of herbs. So tumesema if they are fresh, keep them in the cold room to prevent wilting ama withering. 2, if they are dry, keep them in containers with tight fitting lids to avoid moisture. And 3, we've said, do not buy in bulk. Buy in small quantities so that you're able to benefit from their aroma, their flavor, and their seasoning. So this brings me now to the end of herbs, spices, and condiments, a lesson that you missed last week. So now I'm opening up for questions about them before I go to butchery products. So kama tuko na maswali, unmute your mics, talk to me. Unmute your mics and let's deal with questions from herbs, spices, and condiments. Maswali, Teresia Chege. Teresia Chege, I'm waiting for your question. Kama hauna unaniambia tu you do not have a question. Ama unaniandikia hapa kwa chat that you do not have a question so that we can continue. So Teresia, question? Faith, swali?
No, don't have one.
Umeelewa? Sawa. Jerry, swali? Jerry, uko na swali? You can type in the chat or you can answer.
I'm okay.
Teresia, you're okay? Sawa. Sawa. Jerry, any question? Jerry, I'm waiting for your question or your confirmation whether you have a question or not. You can type in the chat or talk. Margaret, swali about herbs, spices, and condiments.
Okay, my question is about white pepper and black pepper. I didn't understand the difference well.
Okay, I'm going to give the clarification. Sawa, okay, Jerry, if your mic has a problem, just type in here, uniambie kama uko na swali. So, Margaret, white pepper and black pepper. White pepper is the whole pepper vile inatoka kwa mti without removing the outer black coating. That is black pepper. So when it is ground like that, it produces black pepper. White pepper means ile peppercorn imetolewa the outer covering. So the black cover imetoka. So that's why when you look at them, black pepper is darker, white pepper is not dark. Because for the white pepper, the outer covering has been removed. But the black pepper, white covering has not been removed. Tuko pamoja? Margaret?
Yes.
So you now understand the difference?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I'm waiting for Jerry to ask or tell me whether he has a question so that I can now go to butchery products. Akinyi, uko na swali?
Me, I'm just doing right now.
Yeah, that's why nilikuambia kwa WhatsApp, sikuoni kwa class ukaniambia huko. Okay, sawa Jerry, hauna swali? So Akinyi, I was just talking about herbs, spices, and condiments. And we have said that condiments are used to bring seasoning and use them either when cooking or at the table. Then herbs are parts of plants and use them to flavor food. Spices are also from plants and they bring aroma to food, a good smell to food. So we've said examples of condiments ni kama salt, vinegar, mustard, and pepper. Then herbs, tumepeana examples kama bay leaves, kama parsley, kama chives. And we finished with the spices, tukasema examples ni cinnamon, garlic, ginger, and turmeric, and others. So I now want to go and introduce or talk about butchery products. So nataka tuanze butchery products, and I start by simply introducing what butchery products are. And butchery products are those items we buy from the butcher, if I can say that. In other words, butchery products are what we call animal proteins. Apart from, I want you to note this very clearly, that butchery products are animal products except eggs and milk. So tunajua eggs and milk bado ni animal proteins, but they are not butchery products. Hizo zinaitwa dairy. So we see them in the next topic yenye inaitwa dairy products. So for today, as I introduce butchery products, I'm giving you examples of butchery products before I start talking about them. An example is beef. Beef is a butchery product. Beef ni nyama ya ng'ombe, is a butchery product. Another example is lamb, mutton, chicken ama poultry. Hizo zote ni butchery products. So before I talk about them specifically, I'll start with preparation of butchery products. How do we prepare butchery products? And we prepare butchery products in various ways. Anytime you go to the kitchen for a practical, na umetoa nyama kwa freezer, ama umetoa fish kwa freezer, or pork, or chicken, usually put it in cold water, itoke ice. That is one preparation procedure. Inaitwa thawing. So thawing meat is a preparation procedure of butchery products. Another one is mincing. When you want to cook minced meat, now gonna the steak, you have to mince it. So mincing is a preparation procedure. Then we have stuffing. To stuff is to put things inside. For example, you want to make stuffed chicken. Unafungua kuku, then you put in your stuffing kama ni vegetables or whatever you are putting, na unaifunga. Hiyo kuifunga inaitwa trussing ama kuishona. Trussing. So both stuffing and trussing are also preparation methods of butchery products. Now, apart from the preparation, we also have cooking. Which methods are suitable for cooking butchery products? One, we can roast. We roast butchery products. You can have roast chicken, roast beef, roast lamb, very many roast butchery products. We can have braising. You can have braised liver, braised beef, braised lamb. Stewing, we have stewed beef. Sauteing, we have sauteed chicken. Boiling, we can boil our meat. We boil bones when making stock. Grilling, poaching, frying, all those are methods of cooking our butchery products. Now, I want now to specifically talk about the butchery products themselves, and my number one is going to be beef. I know in the handout that I sent you, imeanza na offals. It has started with the offals, but I'm going to start with the flesh itself. So let me begin with the beef. So tumesema beef ni nyama ya ng'ombe, and beef should be tenderized. Needs to be tenderized before it is cooked. And what is to be tenderized? To soften. It needs to be softened. So for example, you see us either using the meat hammer, tunagonga nyama if you want to roast it, or we marinate. We marinate so that we can tenderize or soften. So that is beef. The most important aspects that I want to talk about in these butchery products are the quality purchasing points. So I'm going to be talking more about the quality purchasing point of every butchery product. And I've said number one is beef. Number one is beef. So quality purchasing point points of beef. If you have somewhere to write, you can jot down your small points. Utaenda confirm na the handout, and it will also assist you in revising. Akini, I have muted you because of
What?
echo. Nitakuwa unmute baadaye. I'll unmute you later. So, quality purchasing points of beef. Number one, when you are going to, what do we call quality purchasing points? Number one, when we talk of quality purchasing points, we are simply asking ourselves, if I am going to buy nyama, what kind of nyama should I buy so that it gives me the good quality stew that I want? So that is what I'm calling quality purchasing points. In other words, how do you know that it is good? It is the best for you to buy and cook. So number one, the flesh should be firm and elastic. So nyama ifai kuwa inakatika to pieces, should be firm, and then it should be also elastic, in a stretch kidogo. Number two, fresh beef should be odorless. Odor is O-D-O-U-R. O-D-O-U-R. Odorless. Odorless means what? It should not be having a smell. So fresh beef should not have any smell. That is how you know that it is fresh. Number three, the fat. Kama kuna ile nyama, ile mafuta imeshikilia kwa nyama. So the fat should be evenly distributed. Evenly distributed. So make sure kama nyama iko na mafuta, aina mafuta excess all over, because sometimes we find that in the kitchen tuko na nyama, we are trying to trim the nyama, but then you find hata ukitrim pia huko ndani unapata mafuta. That is poor quality beef. You should not buy such kind of beef. The fat should be evenly distributed. Nafaa ikuwe juu peke yake, such that once you trim, you still remain with the beef that you are supposed to cook. Then number four, the color should be bright red. The color of beef is bright red. Your beef should be bright red. So do not buy meat or beef that has already started turning color to black or turning color to green or which looks like pinkish. No, it should be bright red. And then the last point about the quality purchasing of beef, you make sure that the juice, zile maji zinatoka kwa hiyo nyama, the juice running out of the beef, the juice running out of the meat should be watery. So if there are any juices running out of the meat, then they should be watery. So that is all about the quality purchasing points. Quality purchasing points of beef. Now, the next item that I am going to be talking about is lamb. And what is lamb? It's lamb/mutton. Lamb/mutton. Now, when I'm talking about lamb, when lamb is mentioned, we think about sheep. So, I'm going today to tell you the difference between lamb and mutton. The difference between lamb and mutton. Now, lamb is meat of sheep that is under 1 year of age. Lamb is meat of sheep that is under 1 year of age. And mutton is the meat of mature sheep. Mutton is the meat of mature sheep. Now, let me go back to lamb. Apart from it being meat of sheep that is under 1 year of age, also goat meat, we call it lamb. Goat meat pia inaitwa lamb. Now, let's go to the quality purchasing points. Now, the quality purchasing points of lamb and mutton ziko similar. That's why nimesema lamb/mutton. So ukiandika quality purchasing points ziko same. So quality purchasing points of lamb/mutton. Number one, the fat should be evenly distributed on the surface. The fat should be evenly distributed on the surface. So make sure ile mafuta iko pale juu, and we know that especially mutton has got a lot of mafuta, so it should be evenly distributed for excess, and it should only be on the surface. Number 2, the fat should be firm stroke hard. Hiyo mafuta lazima ikuwe ngumu. Should be firm stroke hard and with a clear white color. So it should be firm or hard with a clear white color. So make sure it has a clear white color na ni ngumu. I melt. Then number 3, the bones should be small. Kama iko na mifupa lazima ikuwe tudogo. The bones should be small, pinkish in color. Hizo bones lazima zikuwe pink, zisikuwe red, they should be pink. So the bones should be small, pinkish in color, and with blood still showing when cut. And with blood still showing when cut. So ukikata hiyo mifupa lazima ikuwe inatoka damu bado. That means what? That means if you are not able to see blood when you cut it, that lamb or mutton is not fresh. That lamb or mutton is not fresh. So make sure that the bones are small, they are pinkish in color, and when you cut them, you can see blood flowing out of them. Quality number 4. The flesh, hiyo nyama. The flesh should be light pink red in color. The flesh should be light pink red in color. So it's not like the beef. Just a moment, yes.
Yeah, earbuds. Inaitwa cotton buds.
Yeah. Umeingia kwa klasi yangu. Hebu nione kama umeonekana kwa klasi yangu. Go away. So, the flesh we say should be pink red in color. That is to say, your beef tumesema must be bright red. So this one, if you are buying mutton or lamb, that flesh must be pinkish ama pink red in color. Another point on the quality purchasing point, number 5. The flesh should be firm to touch. The flesh should be firm to touch. Ukishika lazima ikuwe firm, ikuwe strong. Firm to touch. And the last point, number 7. No, is it number 7 or number 6? Number 6. The last quality purchasing point of lamb or mutton. A quality animal should be compact and evenly fleshed. It should be compact and evenly fleshed. Lazima nyama ikuwe iko kila mahali. You do not want to have some parts with flesh and some others without flesh. That is all about lamb and mutton. Next, I'm taking you to butchery product number 3. And butchery product number 3 is known as veal. Veal. Veal is V-E-A-L. What is veal? Because sometimes people may not understand what veal is. So veal, I'll start by defining what veal is. Veal is meat from calves. Calf ni nini? Ndama, mtoto wa ng'ombe. That is calf. So, veal is meat from calf which are slaughtered at 3 to 4 months. Which are slaughtered at 3 to 4 months with the weight of about 100 kilograms. So a calf, kang'ombe kadogo, before ng'ombe ikomae, a calf, mtoto wa ng'ombe, akona 3 months ama 4 months, and the weight is around 100 kilograms. So ile nyama ya that calf, 3 to 4 months at 100 kilograms, that is what we call veal. Now, let's go straight to the quality purchasing points of veal. Quality purchasing points. Number 1, the flesh should be pale pink. Pale pink means what? Pink yenye ina fade. Pale, P-A-L-E. The flesh should be pale pink. Number 2, the flesh should be firm and not soft. So if ikuwa soft, should be very firm, ikuwe strong. Number 3, the bones should be pinkish white. So note the differences in colors. So when you're asked about the quality purchasing points of any butchery product, you are able to know which one is bright red, which one is pink red, and which one is pink white. So for veal, we are saying they should be pinkish white and with small amounts of blood. With small amounts of blood. Number 4, the fat should be pinkish white. So pia mafuta from veal should be pinkish white. So this one is not bright white, not clearly white. It is pinkish white. Then point number 5, if it is attached with the kidney. So if the part of veal yenye umepewa iko mpaka na kidney, if it is attached together with the kidney should be well covered with fat. You've seen that every time we have kidney in the kitchen, iko na mafuta surrounding it because internal organs are mostly surrounded by fat for protection purpose. So make sure it is covered with the fat. That is all about veal, the quality purchasing of points of veal. Next, I'm taking you through pork stroke bacon. Pork stroke bacon. Now, is there a difference? What is pork and what is bacon? We know that they both come from pigs, but they come from different pigs. We have a pig, known as a porker. A pig which is known as a porker produces pork. We have another pig known as a baconer. That pig which is known as a baconer produces bacon. So there is a difference between pigs that produce pork and pigs that produce bacon. So let me begin with the pork. So write porkers, P-O-R-K-E-R-S, porkers. Porkers are pigs reared to produce pork. They are slaughtered at 3 to 4 months. So they are young pigs, 3 to 4 months. That is where which can give you good quality. I'm not saying that people do not slaughter pigs when they are even up to 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and still sell pork. They do, but that is poor quality pork. So the good quality pork is from pigs that are 3 to 4 months, and specific pigs, porkers, 3 to 4 months, with an average weight of 45 to 50 kilograms. Now, what about baconers? Baconers are pigs reared for processing into bacon. So baconers specifically provide bacon, not pork. So they are reared specifically for processing bacon. They are slaughtered at 5 to 6 months. With the weight of approximately 85 to 90 kilograms. Slaughtered at 5 to 6 months with the weight of approximately 85 to 90 kilograms. So as we can see here, you can be told to differentiate between a porker and a baconer. So you can be told to highlight the differences between a porker and a baconer. A porker is reared for pork, while a baconer is reared for bacon. A porker is slaughtered at 3 to 4 months, while a baconer is slaughtered at 5 to 6 months. A porker weighs around 45 to 50 kgs, while a baconer weighs around 85 to 90 kgs. Those are the differences between a porker and a baconer. But now, when it comes to the quality purchasing points, they are similar when purchasing pork and when purchasing bacon, the quality purchasing points are similar, apart from only one, which I will tell you. So let's look at quality purchasing points of pork stroke bacon, the same way we've done with the lamb stroke mutton. So pork stroke bacon, number one, the flesh should be pale pink in color. So you can see the color here is also mentioned, pale pink, meaning light pink in color. Number two, the fat should be smooth. Mafuta lazima ikuwe smooth and white in color. Fat should be smooth and white in color, but not excessive. So make sure your pork or your bacon does not have excess fat. Number three, the skin. Now, anytime we've bought pork, either for roasting or for making sweet and sour pork in the kitchen, you have realized that ile skin yake it has fur, bado iko na ngozi ngozi. That is what we are calling the skin, and we also call it the rind. Rind meaning what? The covering. So we also call it the rind. So make sure the skin or rind is smooth and unbroken. Smooth and unbroken. It should not be broken. It should be smooth. If iko imekatika katika ama iko na blemishes ama iko na vidonda, no. That skin should be smooth and unbroken with a light pinkish brown color. With a light pinkish brown color. So now, next point about the quality purchasing points of pork stroke bacon. Number 5 or number 4. The bones should be small. You should have very small bones. You have noticed that when we are making pork, we do not remove the bones. We cook them together with the beef. So we make sure it has the bones, and the bones should be very small. Then number 5, because pork deteriorates quickly, it goes bad quickly. Pork goes bad very quickly than any other type of meat. The cut surface, ile part yenye umekata, the cut surface should be free from stickiness or discoloration or unpleasant smell. So make sure your pork is not smelling, it is not sticky ile part umekata, and also it is not discolored. Now, I said there is only one difference between the quality purchasing point of the pork and bacon, and this is the point now. As for the bacon, it is not going to be having the skin kama ile ya pork. So the bacon is not going to be having skin. So when you are writing quality purchasing points of pork, all those points from the number 1, number 2, you only skip the point about the skin and or stroke rind when you are talking about bacon. The point on the skin is not there, but the rest, they are similar. Now, let's go to fish. Fish is our next butchery product. And we all know fish. We know that you can have whole fish, kama tilapia. That is fish from fresh water source, kama Lake Victoria, tilapia, whole fish. Then we can also have salty fish, kama tuna fish, zile fish za Mombasa, the salty fish. Tuna, that is also fish. We can have fish fillets, like the ones we use to make bread-crumbed fish fillet in the kitchen. That is also fish. Then we have these other fish products. We have these other not fish product, seafoods, the ones we see in the practical cookery, kama crabs, prawns, lobsters, those ones we call them shellfish. Shellfish. So let me introduce fish. Fish is a source of protein, and it is used in the kitchen to produce a variety of meals. Tunaweza kuwa na stewed fish, we can have fried fish, we can have deep fried breadcrumbed fish, we can have fish fingers, we can have baked fish, we can have grilled fish. So that is fish for you. Types of fish. The first type is oily fish. Oily fish. And a good example of oily fish is salmon and also tuna fish. Then we have white fish. A good example of white fish here is what? The fish fillet, the cod fish. Cod fish, kama ulikunywa dawa ukiwa mtoto ilikuwa inaitwa 7 C's. Imeandikwa cod liver oil. Ile mafuta ya hiyo cod, hiyo that particular fish yenye inatengenezanga hiyo dawa, mafuta yake inatengeneza hiyo dawa. That is the cod fish we are talking about. Then you also have shellfish. What is it? What? Simama tu hapo. Jason. Now, shellfish. Shellfish I've already said ni lobsters, crab, prawns. Hizo vitu zinatokana kwa sea. Zenye si samaki but they are seafood. We call them shellfish. Now, let me go straight to the quality purchasing points of fish. Quality purchasing points of fish. And for fish, they are unique in a way that it is the body parts and what you should look out for. So number one, the eyes. When you are dealing with the fish, number one, you look at the eyes. They should be bright, full, and not sunken. So the eyes, ukiangalia macho ya fish, fresh fish, inafaa ikae kama bado iko high. Number two, the gills. The gills should be bright red in color. So make sure your gills are bright red in color. Then the flesh, ile nyama ya fish, the flesh of the fish, it should be firm and translucent and resilient. So firm, translucent, and resilient. What is resilience? Resilience means what? Ukipress your fish, before you watch the finger mark, the skin should bounce back. Irudi vile ilikuwa. That is resilience. Then being firm means what? Iko strong. It is not soggy. Haitokani. Being translucent means what? Light can pass through, but you cannot see through. So you should not be able to see through fish. Number four, the scales. Fish must have scales. So you must make sure that the entire fish is covered with scales. And these scales must be flat and moist. So when you are buying fish, fresh fish, the scales must be flat and moist and in plenty, covering the entire fish. Then the skin. The skin should be smooth and moist. And lastly, the smell. The smell should be pleasant. People will wonder how fish can be having a pleasant smell, but it should not smell rotten. It should not have the smell of ammonia. It should not have any other funny smell. It should just be smelling like fish. And now this brings me to the end of fish. And the next item I want to talk about, which carries many other items on butchery products, is now what we call offals. And offals, hizo zimeanza kwa handout zenu. And I still send a recording about them, but I am still going to talk about them. An offal or offals are the internal organs of animals. Internal organs namaanisha nini? Si nyama sasa. Now I'm talking about the heart, the liver, tripe, honeycomb. When I talk of tripe na honeycomb ni matumbo. Tripe is the small intestine ama the colon. Then honeycomb ni ile matumbo yenye inakuwaga greenish, unaijua ile yenye, that one, you know it. Comment down here or talk, tell me whether you know honeycomb before I continue. Matumbo, what we normally call matumbo. Faith, unajua matumbo?
Yes.
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 Teresia, unajua matumbo? Teresia. Teresia, unajua matumbo? Ama Akinyi? Christine, unajua matumbo? Akinyi, unajua matumbo? Or you just type in here kwa chat, mniambie kama mnajua matumbo. Tell me whether you know.
I know it.
Okay, sawa. I know it. Ni sawa. So everybody anajua matumbo ni nini. So that is what we call honeycomb. Ile ya greenish. Na ile ndogo, the small intestine, inaitwa tripe. So those are the offals, the internal organs. The heart, hizo matumbo, the liver, the kidneys, the brain, the tongue, ulimi, hizo zote ni offals. Even the bones. Now let me say something about bones. Bones, nimeziweka kwa offals. I don't know whether they are in your handout, but they are not organs. Bones are waste products of butchery products. Bones are the waste products. Ukikula nyama, you don't eat plus the bone, you throw away the bone. But in catering, we also use those bones. For example, when making stock, jikoni tukitengeneza stock, tunatengenezanga kutumia bones. So bones are also useful because we use them to make stock. Now, for offals, let me begin with number 1, liver. And liver, because usually have a topic known as nutrition in tulishasoma. Here, when I'm talking about the liver, I'm also going to give you the food value of liver, because you can get a question here in production and nutrition yenye nakuuliza what is the food value of liver, or what does liver give us. So liver gives us vitamin A, it gives us vitamin D, and it also gives us iron. So vitamin A, vitamin D, and iron. Let me go to the quality purchasing points. Number 1, the liver should appear fresh. Lazima ikuwe inakaa fresh. Number 2, the liver should have an attractive color. What is the color of liver? The color of liver is red. Tubes must not be dry or contain tubes. And the next one, which is the last one, number 4, it should be smooth in texture. Liver ukiangalia inafaa ikuwe smooth, ukishika it must be smooth. It should not be having other items. So liver must be smooth. Then the next point, the next offal I'm going to talk about is kidney. The kidney. Now, the food value of kidney, vile nimesema food value of liver. Food value of kidney is similar to the liver. What do I mean? Kidney also gives us vitamin A, it gives us vitamin D, and it also gives us iron. I want to go to the quality purchasing points of kidney. Number 1, it should be dark red in color. Kidney should be dark red in color. Number 2, it should be fresh. Kidney should be fresh. And then number 3, the fat should be crisp. Remember tulisema internal organs zimezungukwa na fat, mafuta. So that fat should be crisp. What is being crisp? Inafaa ikuwe ngumu. Should be crisp. Next, the kidney should be moist. Kidney lazima ikuwe moist, should not be dry. If it is fresh, that is why it is a quality purchasing point. Ukipata ni dry, do not buy, it is poor quality. So it should be moist. Then mutton kidney should be darker in color. So we've already said that kidneys are dark red in color, but kama ni ya mutton, make sure it is more darker than the rest in color. So that is all about the quality purchasing points of kidney. Offal number 3 is the heart. The heart which pumps blood. So the heart. Now let's look at the quality purchasing points. And quality purchasing point of the heart, number 1, it should not contain a lot of fat. Ifai imezungukwa na mafuta mingi, so it should not contain a lot of fat. Number 2, should not contain a lot of tubes. We know that the heart pumps blood, so it has arteries, it has those tubes, but then it should not be a lot. Number 3, when cut, ukikata huko ndani, it should be moist. So when you cut the heart, huko ndani lazima ikuwe moist. Moist means what? Lazima ikuwe na moisture, ikuwe na some liquids running out of it. Point number 4, it should be non-sticky. Haifai kukuwa ina stick, ifai kukuwa sticky inashikana. Any meat which is sticky, whether it is an offal or even the flesh, it means it's already going bad. It is a poor quality of meat or any offal of any animal protein. And lastly, it should not have any unpleasant smell. So every time make sure that if you are purchasing heart, it has a pleasant smell. In other words, it does not have any other funny smell. Aijaoza and aija overstay. The next item of the next offal I'll talk about is the tongue. Ulimi, the tongue. And the quality purchasing point, number 1, the tongue must be fresh. Lazima ikuwe fresh. Number 2, it should not have excessive amount of waste at the root, uchafu. We know that animals chew cud. So when they chew cud or when they eat during the day, they store, you know that animals have got segments of the stomach. So they will store, and then you will see them chewing even at night. That means they are chewing cud. They are taking whatever they had put in some segment of the stomach during the day, wanatafuna tena. So that brings uchafu at the root of the tongue. So make sure the butcher has cleaned that waste from the tongue. So it should not have excessive amount of waste. Then number 3, ox tongue. Hii ni tongue yenye imetoka kwa ox ama ng'ombe. Must be salted. Salted means lazima ikuwe na salt. Lazima iwekwe salt. We said that salt is used in curing. Curing is preserving. So salt lazima iwekwe kwa ulimi ya ng'ombe for preservation purposes. And the last point on the quality purchasing point, sheep tongue should be used unsalted. Kama unatumia ulimi ya sheep, kondoo, you use it without adding salt. It is considered to have enough salt. Now, the next offal is what we call sweet bread. Just write sweet bread, or you will see it in your handout. Sweet bread, inaitwa sweet bread. And sweet bread is an offal or an internal organ of animals mostly the pancreas. Mostly the pancreas and some part of the neck. The pancreas, some part of the neck of animals, young animals, that is, zile zenye hazijakomaa, that is what we call sweat bread. Quality purchasing points. Let's look at quality purchasing points. 1, they should be fleshy. Should be fleshy. Lazima ikuwe na nyama nyama. Fleshy. Number 2, should be creamy white in color. They should be creamy white in color. Number 3, should be non-sticky. Haifai kukuwa sticky. And number 4, must not have any unpleasant smell. So when you look at those points, they are almost similar to the ones zenye tumesoma kwa the other offals and the other meats, the beef and the rest. So now, this brings me now to the end of offals, the end of butchery products. Apart from the quality assessment, and on quality assessment nilituma recording. This particular quality assessment is simply about ukishapika. Once you have cooked your butchery product, umepika kuku, umepika fish, umepika ng'ombe, how do you know it is good quality? Once you have already cooked, and there are the normal things. 1, you check whether it is well seasoned. Umeseason vizuri. That is why tunasemanga check the seasoning kwa recipe. 2, you must check whether it is well flavored. Today we've talked also about the herbs, condiments and spices. Tukasema they season food, they flavor food. So check your flavor if it is the one that you wanted to get. Then the consistency. Kama ni stew ulikuwa unapika, does it have the right consistency? Is it too watery or too thick? Umepika beef stew imekuwa ugali. What do you do to it? You correct the consistency before serving. Then the texture. Ulikuwa unapika beef, you taste the texture. As it softened ama ni ngumu mpaka customer hawezi kula. So that is simply what we call quality assessment. So we check the seasoning, the flavor, the consistency and the texture. And also we make sure the food is well cooked. We check whether the food is well cooked. So that is the end of my presentation on butchery products. So now I need your questions. I want your questions about butchery products. You can now unmute your mics. Muulize maswali before tumalize class juu our session is going to expire at 1. So before 1, muulize maswali. Akinyi, swali. Maswali or your experiences or your expectations or what you expect. Akinyi?
I'm still looking for the question.
Oh, you're looking for the question. Sawa. Nani ako na swali? Who has a question?
Na kwani unafanya ile ikorong unafanya hii kabla nifanye hii.
Sisi utachana na wewe kufanya hiyo nyingine.
Hii.
Just go and do hiyo nilikupea.
Nifanye
Uifanye.
hata nifanye nikuje nifanye hii exercise.
Nilikupea mpaka number 4, sikusema ufanye nyingine.
Nikimaliza hii
Ukimaliza ni hivyo.
break.
Maswali ndio nangoja, maswali. Questions. You can type them hapo chini. You can also ask me or not necessarily questions. Sawa, Jerry, no question. Tuliza maswali. Now remember this was a makeup because jana hatukukuwa na class, so our class still remains ni ya jana 11 to 2, so not today. class yetu ina remain kwa Wednesday 11 to 2. Teresia, no question. Sawa.
Okay, when you want to ask the question through message, how can we type it?
Kuna uoni message hapo kwa simu yako ama laptop yako, place ya chat. Kuna mahali kuna chat. So kwa hiyo chat hapo ndio una type. But you can still ask through the audio. There is no harm. Hey, hapa kila mtu hana swali. Umeelewa kweli?
Yes.
Are you sure? You have understood? Sawa, any comments about the class or about what you expect? Yes? Comments?
The lesson was superb.
The lesson? Menjoy lesson, sawa. Jerry?
Those who have not attended this class, will there be another lesson for them?
No, hii lesson ina record, so after the class, recording bado itabaki hapo kwa blue button.
Okay.
So wataisoma hapo. Any other question about the end session? Can I end the session now? Ama kuna any other? So, I'm going to send you to attach another handout ya next week ya dairy products. Mutaiangalia muanze kuisoma before we come to class next week Wednesday. Sawa sawa?
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa.
A good lesson.
Okay. So thank you for joining the class. You can mobilize the rest to also be able to know how to join the class.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay. Okay.
Listen, that's the card.